to this topic. In this topic, we'll be treating HTML layout. HTML layout is a way to structure your website, your website design. So in the unconventional way, as of HTML4, we use the div block content to structure our HTML. So this is the way. Let me show you. Let's create our file, HTML layout.html. Then let's initialize our file, our document, HTML layout. And then in the unconventional ways of HTML4, as I told you, we use div to structure our content, the website. So the normal structure of the website goes like this: a header, which might be the logo of the company or any content. Then we also have the navigation links, which will be able to help users of your website to navigate your site. That's the second one after the header. Then the next one should be the main. The main is the main content of the website or the page that you are on. Then the next one is article, and another one is a section. Section is used to group articles. So section is used to group articles. So article is might be a single blog post that you have. You can just open an article, give it an ID of article, and then drop all your content into the article. Then we also have the footer. Before that, we have a side. So the aside provides more info that is not within the topic being discussed, maybe in a web page, maybe a glossary, or an additional information, a link to another site. So this is the HTML5. The HTML5 way of structuring our web page. In the unconventional way, we use div. Okay, let's put this. We use div ID equal to header. Then you can put your header here, and then you will do your styling later. Div. And so it was before HTML5 arrived, and saw that most people have been using div ID header, div ID navigate, div ID nav. So they created the conventional way of doing it now, using header tag, which are all block tags, using header, nav, main, article, section, aside, and footer. So we'll be looking into how to style it, structure our website with the HTML4 and also HTML5 in a very quick way. We'll be using the same CSS to style it, but different HTML write-up. So the unconventional way we'll be adding our div id header my first blog, then another also open up another div for the navigation, div id equal to nav. Then let's copy the links that we did somewhere here. I think it's supposed to be CSS links. Okay. Then we have our links within the nav here. And then we also have div id of main. We can have a lorem, normal lorem here, lorem ipsum. Then we also have a div. So within the so the article is also within the main. The main holds every of our content together. So we have our article here, id equal to article, and within that we'll be adding our lorem ipsum. Within the article we'll be having our lorem ipsum, just a single, let's say it's a single article that we just created. And then outside of the article we could have our aside. Now aside might contain a paragraph with a link, https firefox.com. We could also have so many content here. Let's increase this lorem so it should be greater than what we have here. Lorem 100. That's lorem 100. Okay. And then the last one, the section is used to group articles together. Then the last one, which should be outside of the main div, will be the footer. The footer, div id equal to footer. Then we can have our copyright. Copy. I think this is the format for copyright. Copyright. Our first blog. Okay, so we'll take a look at this in the browser and see how it displays structure. Let's add a P here. Let's look at our browser and see how it is now. And when I start that, I will show you that's how our HTML structure will always be. And so you can see how it is now. So this is our header, and this is the navigation. This is the main content. This should be the aside, and this is the footer. So let's style it and see. I think this is supposed to be ID and not aside, not class. So let's have our styling here. Style. For the first one, we'll be styling our header. ID header. We'll have a text. Let's make it to be centered as normal. So center text align center. Then have a background color. Maybe let's say of hot pink. And let's see how that is. Okay, then let's increase the font size. That's our logo. So a logo should also be bold, and it will remain uniform in every of our, whether we visit it via a mobile or a lap or a desktop. Our logo should be our logo. So let's add the font size of 32 pixels, so times 2 of what we have. Okay, and then the next one will be styling. We'll style our nav. We'll also give it a background color of black. And for our background color, we also I think I already have a logo here, so I'll be removing this. And let's do with others. Then the text should also be centered text. Align center. And let's take a look at it. Okay, so then let's add a color of white to be able to see that. Sorry, we'll be adding a color of white to the links. So let's do that here. Now we're having a color of white applied to it, and then a padding left to be able to add a space in the text decoration of none. Okay, so let's add a line height. Let's add a line height here, or let's also add a height. And let's give it a 100 px and line height to be able to make it to be centered. Line height to be able to make the links to be centered, I'll be using a line height of also 100 px. So let's do that. And also I think the 100 is too much. We're having a 50 px. Okay. Then from there we'll also be styling our main. That's our main the main discussion should be here, and our side div should be somewhere here. So probably we'll float it to the left. We'll float our main to the left. Float. Let's give it a width of 400%, and float it. So I'm supposed to float my article and not the width. So that for the main we won't be styling the main. Well, as I told you, the aside will be floated to the right, and then the article will be to the left and also centered. So let's style the article. The article will have a width. Let's give it a width of 1200 pixels or 1100 pixels. Let's float to the left, and also give it a background color antique white. Give it a padding, and then let's give it a padding of 20 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so now we're floating the aside. Remember, I told you that aside contains information that is not related to the main content or topic being discussed within the web page. The aside might contain glossaries or external links, or more explanation, or links to web pages that explain more on the content being displayed. So we will be giving this a width of 150 pixels. Because of our padding, this should be 1280. We should be having these are the 30 should be 180, and the padding also of 20 pixels, and then float this to the right, then add the background color of Azure. Okay, let's take a look at this. Yes. Okay, then because we gave this a 1100, this should be 1000 2020, and then for our footer, we'll be clearing the footer. Let's clear our floats, both of them. The clear CSS property is used to clear floats. So I think this should be 1100. Still 2020 should be full. Okay, that should be 1050. 1050. Let's change it. Okay, actually, because of the padding that we gave it, why is this line still showing? 1050, 1080. Okay. I was wondering why it's okay. Okay, so and then let's start our footer. Also to be centered. Text align should be centered. And then font size. Let's increase our font size to 20 pixel. And add a background color of black. And then the text, the color here should be white because it's on a dark background. So okay. Then let's add a more lorem ipsum here. Okay. Seems like we are having difficult. Let's give this a percentage in order to be more understandable. Which is supposed to be 100%. So going by this, I'll say that this is 100%. Should now be 70%, and this should have a 20%, remaining 10%. So the padding should be 10%. Okay, so the padding should be 5% ish. And let's see that. Our padding is too much. So let's give this a 1% padding. I don't 1%. Okay, then add this up to both of these. So it remains 88. So let me add that up to. I think this is okay. So let me add the width here. 24. Am I right? Oops. This is 7 and the 74 also. Let me refresh. The padding is still disturbing. Why? 70. Let's add a 71. Cruiser. Okay. So that's our side now, our aside, and this is the main content showing the article. Supposed to I forgot to add the heading. H1 our heading. So you can see that this is the normal structure of a web page: the navigation, the header, or you can say the logo, the head, the navigation, the main content, the aside content, the aside which is within the which is also within the main content, and then the footer. So these are always being structured. Let's quickly take a look at how the HTML5 is. Still the same syntax, but we'll be removing the div and the ID and just leaving the header off. So let's copy these and copy and comment it off. Let me close this. Then these are HTML5. HTML5. So let me paste this here and remove our div ID header. Instead of having this here, just remove everything. I'll just give you the basic structure and then we'll bring in some words and style. So first we have the header. Most designers normally put the navigation within the header. It's also advisable you can still put your navigation within the header, because for those designers, they normally put their header, their logo within the navigation. So it's still okay to do that. Then the nav, and another one is the main. And within the main we have a section. Okay, we have an article. Within also the main, we also have a side, and outside of the main, which is the last, we have our footer. So let's also bring up the same thing that we did here up here. So div ID header, this should be our header. Okay, sorry, I think I have the same header here. Our first blog, our first blog. Then let's have our navigation links. Our navigation link, and now that's our nav navigation. Then we have our article with our heading H1, which is very, very important in a web page. Our article, and then the aside, these are our side, and our footer. Let's also bring it up. The footer. Okay, so let's also comment out the styling here. Then let's take a look at what we have now. As you can see, the same thing we have before, formally, when we didn't structure it or style it. So let me uncomment this, the last one, and then copy out the whole styling. It's easier, so I won't be wasting our time here. And paste. So my work here is to remove the ID selector or the hashtag. So we for now, when we are using the HTML5, we are now targeting the element itself, the footer, the aside. So let's take a look at this and see what happens. And you can see still the same thing. So that's the HTML layout structure. Remember, you must have your header, that's your logo, or you can also have it within your navigation, and you must have your main content and an article, and also a side and the footer. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. You can also hover. For more learning, you can also hover over this article, and you can see what the description, this little description written here, what it says. So thanks, guys.